Alright, it's turn 49, and I won't sugarcoat it. I just got my ass kicked. This turn went very, very badly, and it went worse in some places. So first of all, this Magic Nightmare spell, I forget what exactly it's called. It's a spell that, this is what it does. I'll show you. When you cast it on somebody, they have to make, I think it's a magic resistance check, and if they fail, which obviously Weeaboo Meme Lord failed because he's in a enemy dominion. If they fail, they get sucked into a special battle, where they are against dead ones, which are dream apparitions, and they're just zombies, except they have infinite morale, so they never rout no matter what, and they're ethereal. And it's a number of dead ones equal to the number of people you have killed. So against Pretender Gods, it's often very, very dangerous. Now, Weeaboo Meme Lord does not have many kills. He hasn't been in many fights. But he also doesn't have a magical weapon. The poison is magical, but the actual attack itself is not. So, he has no way to effectively kill these things, because one hit will get them, but 75% of his hits just fail. And so, he throws Blade Wind at them a few times, which is actually an okay idea. It inflicts damage, and he can do it very cheaply. And then he goes into melee, and I won't show you this whole battle because it takes a long, long time. But the upshot is, they go all the way to the battle time limit, and everyone is killed, including Weeaboo Meme Lord. So, Weeaboo Meme Lord dies for the second time. Yeah. Ryutaro, the son of the Dragon King, was also attacked in a Magic Nightmare, but he has very, very few kills, and he has a magic spear. So, yeah, you can see he only has 5 kills. So, that being so, he did fine. He cast Liquid Body, and then he quickened himself. And then he started spamming holy spells against these guys, and he frickin' missed most of the time, but it hardly mattered, to be fully honest. And they came in and attacked him, and once again, it didn't really matter. They can't hardly hurt him, because he has Protection 21 against their 10 damage fist attack, and he's just casting Pull from the Grave and destroying them every time he wakes up. So, there you go. And then he stabbed that one to death with a spear, and that was fine. But if you look at this, you may notice this is what happens when there's a battle in the province the same turn. Yeah. So, first of all, Agartha. I actually won. I thought this was suicide, but because I thought I'd done this by accident and screwed up. But in fact, I did it by accident and succeeded. So I conquered Agartha. Conquered, technically. However, there was a battle in the Mighty Pillars, which I won. That's my army over on the other side moving in. In the Land Pristine, this is my place where I was building a fort, I was attacked by these Agema Companions and Hoplites, and Agema Companions are just very tough units. Defense skill 18. So they overran my troops. The Akaoni Samurai did pretty well, but they actually got around behind them and killed the commanders. So the Akaoni Samurai and the Samurai Archers routed, which is kind of to be expected. And then there was a battle in Chilad Caverns, and this is where I was hit by something I did not expect. He doesn't have one King of Elemental Earth, he has both. And they're both fully geared. Regeneration, Amulets of Resilience for reinvigoration from spellcasting, Elemental Armor, which is a great armor for these guys because they have Encumbrance 0, and it takes care of all their elemental resistances. Ice Helmet, the shield that hits you with a lightning bolt every time you attack them, or every round it hits somebody with a lightning bolt, and Frostbrands for AoE damage, and Earth Gems. Why do they have Earth Gems, I wonder? They both have lots of Earth Gems, and they have these 2 Mystics accompanying them. Here's my army. It's actually a pretty impressive army. This is a pretty solid army. This would work in a lot of contexts against other armies. But it doesn't work against Double Earthquake. Against Double Earthquake, this happens. Watch. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There it is. That's half the army disappearing at once, especially because this is a cave province, and so Earthquake does a lot more damage because it's a cave. Now, this is the nice thing about Ryujin. Ryujin aren't killed by earthquakes, because they are tough and they have higher hit points than human normal. But they are still hurt by it. And my crossbow my archer units were decimated by that. My infantry, less so, since they have very high protection. My shark warriors, not very badly off, to be honest. They did okay. But my crossbows were decimated. And then, more importantly, I can't kill these people. I did not come prepared, and this was my fault. I saw he had one King of Elemental Earth. I should have come prepared to deal with this. I did not. I did not come prepared to deal with super combatants. And so these guys, they regenerate, you know, like almost about 20 hit points around. And more in the case of Barathris. And they're extremely hard to hurt because they have protection 28. And they're immune to most elements. And they're just extremely, extremely tough. Like, the Shark Warriors can hurt them, but it's not primarily Shark Warriors surrounding them, and even the Shark Warriors can't hurt them all that much or all that quickly. So, they stand there regenerating through everything we can do. Since both of them are here, if it was only one of them, I could probably take him, because look, Barathris is getting kind of whipped on right now. Origines is not, but Barathris is. So, if it was only one, if it was just Barathris, I maybe could have taken him. But, of course, it wasn't. It was both of them. And dividing my attacks between the two doesn't work. So, this continues until my army routs. Which it does. And, yeah, they have taken no net damage at this point. So the Shark Warriors do their very, very best. But, in the back line, the archers have already run, everyone else is running, and my troops rout off the field, leaving the Kings of Elemental Earth the victors. So, that was what I would categorize as a disaster. I lost all but one of my human mages. I didn't lose any Ryuj, unfortunately. I also didn't lose the Son of the Dragon King. But I lost almost exactly half of my army. Casualties were concentrated in the crossbowmen, but of course I also lost 10 mages. And a whole mess of other units. When it came to retreating, one of my commanders was killed retreating. Aichi the Master Shugenja got away. Pretty much everybody else got away, but still, that was a military disaster. Then there was also a battle in Ozandius. And this was actually my better prepared army. But he has 2 more of the elemental royalty. He has 2 of the Queens of Air as well. Okay, these 4, the Queen of Storms, the Queen of Thunder, the King of Mountains, and the King of Deeper Earth, each of them represents, I want to say, close to 100 gems of investment. Like, the Elemental Armor is 15, Amulet of Resilience is 10, Ring of Regeneration is 10, Frostbrand is only 5, so what, 25, 35, 40, Scutata Voltantis is more than that. It's like 40 to 50 gems of equipment on top of the summoning cost, on top of the gems they're carrying. It's a huge investment. And it paid off. It paid off here because I did not have an answer for these super combatants. I just didn't have a way to stop them. The Queens of Air are ethereal, and on top of that they have high protection from their gear. And of course they are encumbrance 0, and they have multiple attacks. And these lightning swarms are armor negating, and the Frostbrand is... Anyway. It's a mess. This battle was a little better for me because I had powerful air magic from my Tengu, and so I dropped powerful buffs. So, I started off with the lightning volley from the Tengu, which did some damage, and then, as the battle went on, we dropped Storm, I dropped Fog Warriors on all of my troops, which was great, and I also dropped Arrowfend. I didn't need Arrowfend because he didn't actually have his crossbows here, but it was worth doing. I got these mist-formed water elementals. Mist-formed water elementals are really scary. They're very, very good. Unfortunately, he did get Howl up. And so he had wolves coming from all around to attack my mages. I, of course, had my Tengu jumping into the back to attack his mages, as well as my swarms. So that was helpful. But, basically it all ended up a big mess. You can barely see what was going on, to be honest. A lot of my troops got distracted by the wolves. And so in the front line, it was almost fortunate, actually, because then he started spamming gifts from heaven with his mystic communions. And they spammed a lot of gifts from heaven. He's got a lot of earth random mystics here, and they cast gifts from heaven and astral fires many times. And so you can see the meteors are just wreaking havoc, because they do so much damage they punch through mist form. So, my troops over here are getting destroyed. He causes some friendly fire. More importantly, a whole lot of his communion mages die in the process of doing this, and I think it's because I rout off most of his hoplites. Like, his infantry, a large portion of his infantry rout, but the queens of elemental air jump to the back, and then they start slaughtering mages, and all of my troops rout as well. So, it's a bad scene, is what I'm getting at. It was just a bad scene. Back here, he's got a lot of mages left. You can't see all the ones that are dead. A number of them did, in fact, die. Which is good. Like, I approve of it. I appreciate it. But it wasn't really enough. This was a closer battle in the sense that I caused damage. He lost 22 mages. Now, they weren't terribly expensive mages, but still, 22 mages is 22 mages. And in terms of mages, I lost fewer. However, mine were quite a bit more valuable. I lost 2 of my Ryujin. I lost 7 of my Onmyoji, which are slow to recruit and so hard to replace. And most critically, I lost both of my Daitengu, which cost me 55 air gems each. So, this one was better in the sense that I damaged his mage corps, but it was still very bad, especially because casualties were proportionately much, much higher. I lost most of my army here. And I killed a relatively small fraction of his. So, with all that, and then, of course, 3 of my Master Shugenja were killed while retreating into enemy territory. So I actually lost all 6 of these Shugenjas. So yeah, couple of military disasters this turn. A couple of good random events. In Jerib, I found a well of white water, which I won't be able to hold. This turn, I am retreating. I am falling back in order to recenter myself. I am launching some Ryujin raids. They will probably get mind hunted, so I may lose some of them, but it's worth trying. Yeah. Now, I've been in talks with Patala, and Patala has told me that he is going to do 2 things. First of all, I think after next turn, actually, he's pretending to attack me. Now, I don't know how far I can trust him exactly, but I'm hoping that I can trust him here. He wants to attack Arcocephale because Arcocephale seems like he's winning. Like, really winning. Like I said, 4 elemental royalty is a scary deployment of gems, to be fully honest. It's a lot. And, of course, he also has Mother Oak, so that's frightening, because it means he has more gem income than anybody else, probably. So, Patala wants to fight him. Patala is feigning an attack on me, because Arco has bribed him to attack me, and then he's going to turn on Arcocephale, in the hopes that he and I together can take down Arco when neither of us could do so individually. However, this may be my death knell. Having lost both my armies that turn, that's really bad. We'll see if I can pull it out. But so basically this turn I'm just retreating. I'm moving some Ryujin around. I'm falling back on my forts in order to prepare a defense. I'm moving some mages down from here towards Underspring, where I'm going to try to gather some troops. And we'll just kind of see how it goes. So, I'll see you all on turn 50. Okay, turn 50. Turn 50 is kind of depressing. If we look at this, lots of assassination attempts. These freaking adventurers. So he's got these adventurers here, which have bottles of living water and amulets of the dead that let them animate skeletons. And so they come in, and I don't manage to get my water elemental summon off before that water elemental comes in and starts whipping on me. And so my Kenji there retreats and so dies. And Takashi very, very similar. He's got these pretty well-geared assassins, and they're just wrecking my shit. Alas, I even had the imps, and the imps did not help. So, that happened. Ryutaro, the son of the Dragon King, resisted a seduction, but then was, of course, attacked in an assassination by this Dryad Mother that Arcocephale has for some reason. And, of course, Dryad Mothers have nature gems, and she also has a bottle of living water. He has spent so many gems. He must have a lot more gem income than I do, which is really depressing. I mean, I know he has some more gem income than I do. But yeah, either the Swarm or the Water Elemental will be enough to take out Ryutaro, probably. Both is just overkill. So, that happens. Then, in terms of battles, Sleepy Wolds got attacked, got wiped out. Kolormagar, I hit with a Ryujin. I'm raiding with my Ryujins here. Dothian, I hit. Runia, I hit. Jerib got hit by another large army of crossbowmen. Lots of units retreated because there were no commanders here. In Agartha, my sieging force was broken, which I anticipated. In Amon Forest, my army was driven away. In Impassable Mountains, the Queen of Thunder hit me. So yeah, he's got... It's depressing. Oh, and he has this lumber construct too. This is a tradition among Dominions players. There's a random event that gives you a lumber construct. You saw this with Pythium too. There's a random event that gives you a lumber construct, and the traditional thing to do is just to thug the hell out of it for no reason, just for fun. So, he's got Thistle the lumber construct here, who's been thugged out to the gills and still isn't a fantastic thug, but is certainly powerful enough to take provinces, and has really high map moves, so that's what he's doing with that. So, yeah, it's... Here's Patala. Patala's rolling in with his big stack, which is great. Still have Sea of Ice up. I'm basically, and Arcocephale, of course, has now cast Well of Misery. So now, he's also getting 21 extra death gems per turn, so that's 31 gems from his gem generators. And of course, he can convert death to nature, and I believe vice versa. I think it's nature to death and vice versa he can do just for free. So, comparatively speaking, so he gets 31 just from his gem generators. Comparatively speaking, I'm at like about 40 or so, 40 something, for my total gem income. So you can see where the problem lies. Patala is moving through my territory. I don't really like this, but I kind of have to allow it because it's my only hope at this point. He's moving down here and he says he's going to attack Arcocephale, so I'm like, I don't actually believe you, but nothing I can do about it at this point. And we're getting raided like that. We've got this army coming up here. I have my army. They're just all set to defend and research and stuff. I'm not coming out of my fort right now because this army can't beat that army when it has all these mystics in it. And especially not when it has the Well of the Queen of Thunder. Down here I am under siege and this fort is going to crack. I don't think I have the defenses to hold it. We're just researching for right now, trying to build up some troops, manifesting some more vitriol, moving some troops into position, and trying to get something over here to stop this. But it's looking pretty grim. Down here, Atlantis is rolling into Man, and looks like they're going to be taking them out. I am now, at this point, very much regretting not taking Man out while I had the chance, and instead choosing this foolish war against Arcocephale. But, hey, needs must when the devil drives. We will do our best. So, I know this is very quick, but what can I say? My turn overviews get quicker when I'm depressed about it. So, that is the turn, and I'll see you all in turn 51, where hopefully we will be able to set something up to turn back some of these armies. I am moving in Kimimichi, just carrying some gems at a random hardwood club in an effort to draw aggro from this army and potentially use up some of their gems if they don't move. However, probably they're going to go right in here. If they duck this way, I'll be able to spark gem use, but yeah, beyond that, we'll see. And my raiding Ryujin are bouncing around. I'm actually converging a couple of them on the Cradle of Life, and these ones here are bouncing up towards the Land Pristine, along with Masakata in order to take that. So, hopefully those Ryujin will get a little bit of value. But, in any case, I'll see y'all in turn 51. Okay, it's turn 51. Not a huge amount has changed. We've, map looks largely the same. I did retake that province with my Ryujin. I also conquered this fort with my or not conquered, but locked down this fort with my Ryujin. He's got the Marble Temple here, which is kind of a cool sight. And he's also got the Throne of Gaia, which gives him nature gems and growth, of course. I haven't completely, of course, pushed back here. He is besieging me, although be it not with the full army. Some of the army split down to Amon Forest to hit that province, and Atlantis is moving north, which is very unfortunate. I really wish they wouldn't do it. Now, interesting thing to note, Patala's army has disappeared. So, they are quite clearly not actually going to be attacking Arcocephalae, which is super disappointing, but there's, like I said, there's nothing I can do about it. We've got this army in here right now. Hopefully they're going to move through my fort, but I anticipate that actually they're going to go to Rotmarsh and then attempt to attack it. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, there's nothing I can do about it right now, so it's just gonna be what it is. We're contacting some sea trolls over here. We're summoning some fire snakes, just getting some more chaff into this fort. We do have quite a bit of fort defense because the army inside is actually fairly large and contains a number of shark warriors. I'm in negotiations with Patala, and it's like he seems like he's on my side, but I'm sure that's a lie at this point. We'll see if I can at least get him to drop Seas of Ice. That would help me out a bunch. Sleepy Wolds is cracked, so that's not helpful at all. And I keep losing undefended provinces to raiding, mainly provinces that I raided away. But he's also, Thuilla has come and besieged this fort to stop me from producing anything. And this lumber construct continues to be a nuisance. Akihiro is fleeing from Pastena with the greatest of speed, or at least the greatest speed he can muster with his chest-wounded, crippled self. Here I'm just recruiting infantry and Onmyoji. Down here I can't recruit anything, of course, because I'm under siege. I am attempting an earthquake trap here, so I'm breaking siege with Nakahira. And Nakahira has... where's Nakahira? There he is. He's casting Flight, and then he's casting Earthquake, and then he's running away. And I've given him these 5 guys, and they are stationed up here to draw fire away from him. Maybe they should be a little bit further back. They'll be whatever. But so the goal is just he'll be able to fly, and then he'll cast Earthquake and bust up the enemy army, and then he'll run away. That's the hope. Similarly, over... where's the other one? Yeah, there, Masamori. I also have Masamori moving in to do a very similar thing. So, especially because this is a cave, Earthquake will be even more powerful. So he is casting Iron Skin first, and he's got 10 units with him. So he's Earthquaking and then retreating. So once again, they're going to draw fire from all those crossbows, and then Masamori will Earthquake the whole place. And in a cave, that should be extremely powerful. So cross your fingers, knock on wood, that should do some good work in both cases, albeit a lot more in this case. In this case, it should help, but in this case, it should do a lot of work. The goal here is that the Earthquake will damage this army to such an extent that when they come in to attack me, I can use spell. I'm casting Howl, and then I just have a whole bunch of... I'm dropping some gifts from heaven, and I'm just hoping that I can do damage. I don't think I can hold this fort, not with the resources I have inside it, but I'm doing the best I can. The Earthquake, hopefully the Earthquake will wipe out some of these units, especially some of the Mystics, if he isn't prepared for this. And killing off a bunch of his Mystics before he attacks, that would be extremely viable. Up here, he's not going to attack here. He's just besieging me to make a nuisance out of himself. And up here, I've gotten my army together. I've done a little bit of re-scripting, and I am moving out to attack this army, which has gotten smaller. Some of his units have moved back. So, we've got a whole bunch of guys just throwing random spells. I'm throwing Creeping Doom, Bonds of Fire, Armor of Achilles, etc., etc. I am setting up a small communion. I'm going to cast Mass Protection, Creeping Doom, Howl, Power of the Spheres, Fog Warriors, so buffing my troops up again, Flaming Arrows, Will of the Fates, Wind Guide, and some Living Clouds. So stacking a ton of buffs on the units I have, which are mostly Akaoni Samurai, also stacking Wind Guide and Flaming Arrows on my archers, and then I'm dropping a lot of Swarm as well. Swarm and Creeping Doom. So I'm hoping that's enough to get to the Mystics. Something needs to get to the back to hit the Mystics before they can go full ham on me, because they're just better at magic than I am. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Arcocephalae is better at magic than Jomon is. And so, especially since I've taken a whipping over here and lost a whole bunch of mages, my only real hope is to hit his mage core really hard and make my troops very difficult to kill with magic, which is what all those spells up there are supposed to do. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the Sea of Ice is really, really hurting at this point. Really, really hurting. I could tolerate it before, but now when I need everything, I have like 8 mages, 8 very powerful mages just trapped underwater, along with like not huge numbers, but reasonably significant numbers of really good troops. That would be very, very useful. So, we'll see. We will just see what can be done. We're still manifesting vitriol. Not a whole lot of spellcasting beyond that. We're contacting sea trolls, and we're summoning those. I already talked about that. We're summoning fire snakes down here as well. And I have Iku down here with her water and nature gems, just kind of waiting for her moment. And I have Seiko, my second Kitsune, sneaking over this way to help defend Rot Marsh in case something goes terribly wrong. Oh, and I almost forgot about this, and I can't believe I almost forgot about this. I have Norihisa forging the Black Heart. So the Black Heart is a blood item, which, let me show you. It gives you Assassin. Now, Assassin is only useful if you're stealthy. But guess what? I just happen to have stealthy nature mages. So, my plan here is I'm going to put Black Hearts in my Kitsune, and I'm going to give back some of the assassination that Arcocephale has been giving me by having my my Kitsunes roll up into assassination attempts and cast Creeping Doom. And Creeping Doom will annihilate pretty much anybody except one of the Elemental Royals. Yeah, short of an Elemental Royal, Creeping Doom should pretty much do it. So we're gonna see if we can't pay back a little of what we've been getting. I knew that blood would be good for something, even if I never really used it to its greatest potential here. But in any case, hopefully that will do some good work for me. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in turn 52. Things are looking a little bit grim, but I think I can... Well, actually I've lost at this point, is what's happened. But I think I can at least do some pretty good damage before going down. So, we'll see what we can do. Hopefully we'll do some really crippling damage to this army. We may destroy a significant fraction of this army. So, that's the goal. Cross your fingers, knock on wood. If we can do that, then we should be able to get a little bit of pushback. So, thanks for watching. Once again, I'll see you in turn 52. Alright, so it's turn 52. Yeah, so, I had a couple people killed by assassins. That's fine, like, whatever. Let's look at those battles, shall we? So, this over here, this is a perfect earthquake target. This whole army is just, like, asking me to earthquake it. And over here, I've got Masamori, the Master Shigenja, and I've got his guys, right? And his guys that were up here to draw fire away. I'm sure you have already noticed the problem if you've played this game a lot. That's the problem. So, remember the concept of the HP route. Yeah. There's 3 of these guys left alive. They're injured and they're routing. Out of 10. Now the HP route threshold is 3/4. So Masamori hasn't run yet. But now he needs to cast Earthquake. And he doesn't get the chance because now he routes. And you'll see the message up here in just a second, I think. The armies of Jomon are routed. Because that one volley of crossbow bolts did 75% of my HP in damage. So, yeah, what I actually should have done is I should have just walked Masamori on at the very, very rear, had him cast Earth Power with like one guy to draw fire, had him cast Earth Power and then Earthquake and not even cared about him. But, so that just failed. Like, nothing happened. This army is completely undamaged because the Earthquakes didn't go off. And then, in Sleepy Wolds, we went in to Earthquake them. And I don't know how this happened. I think what happened was, I mean, you see the problem, right? Like, you see the problem here. This is a problem. This is the problem. I think what had happened was I had been planning abortively to break out, and I had ordered some mages from Jomon to move here, and I think this is them. I haven't gone back and checked the earlier turn, but I think there had been a plan that I had then discarded, and God. Anyway, so there's a whole bunch of mages just standing here, like out in front, and So, I cast Earthquake. It does very little. Very, very little to them because, you see, the enemy cast Mass Flight. And that happened before the Earthquake did. So, they took 0 damage. And then all these mages standing out front here, they took some damage, albeit not a lot. And then they all got obliterated by flying, regenerating. Yeah. So, net result of that was, I lost everything, and they lost nothing. So overall, my 2 Earthquake traps were both fucking disastrous, pardon my French. And then, of course, they rolled their army into Sleepy Wolds. I mean, I guess you could say I took their air gems away that they had planned to use to cast Mass Flight to attack my fort. I guess I did that, except they still had enough to cast it again, so didn't really matter. So I dropped my Howl, I dropped a whole bunch of Swarm, and then the Flying Hoplites charged in and ruined my day. So there was fighting, there was chaos, there was anarchy. Didn't really matter though. I caused some damage, but not nearly enough. Battled the fortress. Yeah, you can see here, I killed 35 units net. 16 hoplites, a couple of mystics, a couple of shamans. But, yeah. Yeah. So, raiding with Ryujin, insofar as I can, but that's not much. Like I said, lost another couple of people there. It's just really a bad scene. It's really a bad scene. I have given Ikkyu that black heart, and she is set to assassimitate on this army. The fort is breaking, but only fairly slowly. I do have 121 siege defense, and over here, this army has, as I thought, moved on to Rotmarsh, and they've actually broken the fort. So I'm pretty sure they're going to attack. I don't think I can hold them. I've just written this fort off. Like, they're going to take it. Patala's just going to steal that, and that will be sort of the death knell, as it were. I'm already fairly knelled at this point. So yeah, now although I have to say this is the interesting thing. Patala has told me that they're going to let me kill their Seas of Ice caster, which I think is fantastic. Like, I'm moving down here to get ready to raid. I'm turning back on the underwater recruitment. I've got these Ryujin that are actually halfway recruited already, and I'm turning on the Shark Warrior recruitment again to get some more units to go along with them. That's very weird to me, because I'm like, there's no way he's not going to take this fort. If I was him, I absolutely would. And I can't picture that he's not going to. Oh, and also in the toll of bad news, I lost at Mictlan as well. So let's take a look at Mictlan. So he's got his big army over here with, of course, the Queen of Thunder and his mystics in the back. I've got my army over here. And we're all casting all of our various spells. I'm casting Howl and Wind Guide and etc. So we've got Mass Protection. We've got Fire Arrows. We don't seem to have... We've got Howl going on, although it's actually enemy Howl. So they cast Howl. I thought I'd cast Howl. We've also got Mist Form. We don't seem to have Will of the Fates active, which I was sure I had scripted. But basically, both sides have now just buffed their troops to the gills. He's gotten Howl off, and I haven't. I thought I had scripted Howl here, but apparently not. But so, just buffed to the gills troops on both sides. I dropped an air shield, which is totally worthless because he has no missiles coming in. And then the gifts from heaven start falling. And basically we just get worn down. Now Thuella jumps into the back here, and she's having a good old time massacring my everything. We got the hoplites scattered in among us. That was a good hit on those hoplites. I like that. And the Cerulean Warriors and etc. We are doing quite a bit of damage, especially with the crossbows, but... yeah, we rout this army. Wait, we rout this army? I thought I lost this. Yeah, that's a bug. That didn't even show that the last time I watched this. That's different. Wow, that's kind of hilarious. That's really sort of hilarious. Is that just how it is now, or...? Yeah, the armies of Arcocephale are routed. Boy, I wish that's how this battle had gone. That would have been amazing. But it was not. That was not how that battle went. You'll have to trust me on that. The first time that... I guess I have reloaded my I've shut down my computer in between, but... Dominions has these bugs sometimes with battle replays. So, what actually happened was what you can see on the report here. I killed 4 of their mystics, about 100 units all told, and they wiped out my entire army. The battle did not go in the way that you saw on the replay, where my army outfought theirs and managed to beat them back and kill all their stuff. No, that wasn't true. I got annihilated, so... Stop taunting me, game. Showing me things that didn't happen. I've got these guys set to call God because there's no reason they shouldn't be doing that. There's nothing else they should be doing. On the plus side, I did badly damage this army, so it's not sieging me down very quickly at least, so I've got a little bit of time. But at this point, the doom is apparent. The writing is on the wall. I'm consolidating troops here in Carnia, moving them down to Oak Halls. I've got Vilgo with a whole bunch of archers and crossbows moving down in an effort to kind of help. I'm just trying to gather troops in Jomon at this point in order to stop this advance from the Sleepy Wolds. Still holding on to this fort. Still holding out for a hero over here, and we are going to start assassinating, which might encourage him to move. But at this point, I'm thinking I'm probably going to lose Jomon unless I can pull a really, really fancy trick out of my hat. Here's hoping this works. Unless Batala is lying to me, which they, probably are, 60, 75%, but at this point I'm willing to gamble 2 Ryujin on them not lying to me, so we'll see. And if they're not, if I can drop Seas of Ice, then I can get these guys and these mages all into Jomon next turn. And actually I can probably even get, I'm recruiting another one over here, I can probably even get him into Jomon. So that would be really, really nice. That would provide a very nice and unexpected bump to my capabilities, just as Arcocephale comes in to ruin my whole day. So, cross your fingers, knock on wood. Let's hope that works out. And this is just scouts holding me down here because the Queen of Thunder ran away. So I am going to break the siege with Kionari here. And he's just breaking the siege with nothing. If he dies, he dies. At this point, I'm beyond caring. My little bat boys are still going around site searching for death sites. Not that it's really going to help me. I am up to 4 death gems per month, which is pretty nice. Lots and lots of air income. I just can't use it at this point. And of course, that is Atlantis, who I think were coming in to try and attack me, but then realized that they've been cut off, so they're probably going to go back and fight Man some more, I imagine. Man's the easy target, and they are already besieging him down here in the Woods of Weeping. And Ulm is still alive. Yeah, they're still alive. It's almost baffling. But in any case, I'll see you all in turn 53. Okay, turn 53. So I got some more assassination attempts, which fortunately only killed commanders, and then my first assassination attempt went off, and it was really good. Kitsune are actually really, really good assassins because, well, they can cast Creeping Doom, and that's all you need to be a really, really good assassin. So I IQ cast Creeping Doom and then started casting buff spells, and the bugs just murdered this guy. Like, there was pretty much nothing he could do. He just got bitten until he ran away and died of poison. So that was great. In Oaklands, raiding. Felicia, taken by a small army. Jomon, so the Arcocephalian army has moved into Jomon. I killed 2 hoplites with my province defense, and that was that. So they are besieging me in Jomon. In Utenshire, this army has moved in and killed off my Ryujin, unfortunately. In Tefalia, let's view this battle. So it looks like Batala actually was telling me the truth, which is really, really nice. I had My Ryujin... I had 2 Ryujin, I thought. Could have sworn. But in any case, so this is a Nagarishi who is maintaining a global enchantment that has Water 5. So this is the one who casts Seas of Ice. He's also got quite a bit of province defense here, however, so... yeah, I've got Kanaki the Ryujin here, and Kanaki, I guess I only had the one. He summoned a water elemental, and that was about it. Started casting Liquefy. So he did a reasonable amount of damage to the province defense, but also got stabbed a whole bunch. The province defense actually routed, so, like, I won, but since this Nagarishi was sitting at the back casting spells, see... like, everyone, all the province defense ran away, and then she ran away. And I didn't get to kill her. So, unfortunate. I thought I had 2. No, I guess I only had 1. I thought I'd sent, could have sworn I'd sent 2. Oh, that's right, because Tsunekane was killed on the way. By a mental attack, by Mind Hunt. So, I've conquered that province, but it isn't doing me any good. Oh, and I did retake Kormark, free up the fort there. And Patala attacked me in Rotmarsh. Now, this battle was really interesting. So, if you'll recall, I hadn't hardly done anything here. I was just like, oh, well, I'm going to lose and die. You know, that's inevitable. So these guys didn't have any gems or nothing, pretty much, because I'd just given up. I wasn't going to throw good money after bad. But I do have my summons, and I do have quite a few archers. On his side, he's got a huge lump of infantry, some independent crossbows, and then a small Guru Rishi group, plus a couple of Bandar commanders in the back. And so, he communions up. Lots and lots of crossbow fire going in. We've got some soul slays going down, all kinds of stuff. My mages cast Conflagration, which is this spell that sets people on fire over a large area. And so all these light Bandar warriors are on fire, and having trouble dealing with it. Also, a number of them are starving, and this is something I had not grappled with fully. They're all starving, so their morale is terrible, and many of them are diseased on top of that. I hadn't realized they were all starving. That was something I had just completely neglected. I'd overlooked it. So, they're all starving, on fire, and diseased, and now we're starting to throw other spells at them, so they all rout. The enemy, all the Bandars just run away. They don't manage to get into the fort. They kill off all my infantry, but then they flee, and by leaving their mages just sitting here. And so my samurai archers rush out and, like, just straight up murder 4 or 5 of their commanders. So I won. I actually held the fortress at Rotmarsh. And you see, I killed 3 yogis, 4 gurus, and like half the army. And the rest all routed. Now, since I'd cut off their retreat by retaking the province behind them, the retreating troops were annihilated. So that whole army was destroyed. Which I had not anticipated. He's got a Sitta besieging my fort here, which is a flying summon, I believe. I think it's a summon. Yeah, it's a summon. He doesn't have a recruitable Sitta unit. So okay, he's still maintaining the siege, but I'm just breaking siege with everybody. I'm like, no, fuck you, get off my fort. Unfortunately, Sea of Ice is still up because that Nagarishi over here retreated instead of standing and fighting like I wanted her to. So I talked to Batala, and he basically said, "Oops, sorry about attacking your fort like that. You know, couldn't resist the urge since I'd already broken it and all. But I'll send the Nagarishi back in, and I'll make sure to script her so she doesn't run away, so that you can take down the Seas of Ice." Also, there's his army that was over here a couple turns ago. Yeah, it's moving up in this direction, so... And there is another huge army, which... At this point, I don't really know if he's attacking Arco, or if he's attacking me first, or what he's doing. I would anticipate... In his position, I would probably vulture off of Jomon. I would just get what I can while the getting's good, because, I mean, like, my capital's under siege. This big army is here. There's a little token force still holding that siege down. I've lost a fort already. It's bad news. In any case, I have summoned, and I don't think I remember to talk about this last turn, but I've summoned an Ujigami. So this is kind of a bid to get in on the thugging end of things, because I've been thinking, I don't have a countermeasure to the Elemental Royals. I just have no way to deal with them. So I've summoned an Ujigami, which is a pretty okay Thug chassis, naturally ethereal, can bless itself, decent skills, decent protection as well on top of the etherealness. And I've given him my second black heart. And I'm going to try to kit him out as an assassin. So I'm forging him 2 Serpent Chris's, a Dragon Helmet to buff its morale, and some Boots of Quickness. So he'll get 4 magical death poison attacks per round. Now, the Elemental Royals are poison resistant, but Serpent Chris's do 35 poison damage per hit. And they have poison resistance like 15 or 20, something like that. So he can still stack up Mondo poison. On top of that, the Queens of Elemental Air have very low hit points. They're naturally ethereal, and that is their big defense. They have high protection, but Serpent Chris's are armor piercing, and as long as they get any damage through, the poison takes effect. So basically what I'm hoping is, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to basically trade Masanori for Aela, the Queen of Storms. If he can get into an assassination with her, or even if he can catch her in a battle, he should be able to use the quickness boots. His encumbrance is obscene, by the way. Just absolutely obscene. But he should be able to use his boots of quickness to rush up into melee, stab her a few times with the Serpent Chris's, since he'll be attacking 4 times a round. And then even if she kills him, which she may well do with her AoE Frostbrand, I think it is she has, even then she'll probably die from the poison, because he'll still be stacking up like 15 poison damage per hit or something like that, because there's nothing in the game that has the resistance to resist the Serpent Chris. I've seen this tactic used against Milkarts. It was thugged Bane Lords using Serpent Chris's in the in Once More Into the Breach, the Machaka game actually. So I'm kind of trying to emulate that a little bit. I mean, unfortunately, my gem income is at this point just so garbage that I can't afford to forge and summon enough to actually pull it off. But I'm hoping that little Masanori here will be able to take out Aela and do the people of Jomon proud. The castle's holding up all right. I've got a few more turns, so we'll see if we can do a little bit of damage before we die. I'm breaking the siege down here as well. I know this army could double back, but I'm just like, it's not like they're doing anything for me anyway. I might as well try. Vilgo is moving down this way in an effort to try and get to Jomon. This army could, honestly, it could go back there and split and hit Stonegrave Mountains at the same time, but like I said, we do what we can. And I'm assembling Onmyoji here in Kamiya in order to set up a little communion that hopefully can inflict some damage. I'm also breaking siege here because this army has actually moved away. There's only 20 units left here, Heart Companions and Hoplites. The Queen of Thunder is off raiding. We got some troops down here that are stealing provinces. So I'm like, well, maybe I can actually break out. If they've only got 20 units, I might be able to do some damage. I need to remember to go back and re-script those guys because a lot of them aren't hardly scripted. But in any case, my hope at this point is that I'll be able to kill that Nagarishi, drop Seas of Ice, and then do a little bit of damage here. So, cross your fingers, hope to die. Let's hope that works out. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in turn 54. Okay, turn 54. Here's the first important thing. We got the Nagarishi. So, Patala did in fact send that Nagarishi back in again, and it was scripted to attack this time, and so the Water Elemental just beat it to death. Fantastic. Seas of Ice is down. It's gone. So, my Ryujin are free. Here's the bad news. Here's actually one, well, there's a couple pieces of bad news. I did break free over here. I lost a couple of assassins over here. Stonegrave Mountains got hit and overrun. So you can see here, we did a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough. About 43 kills, no mages dead. Lost 3 of my Master Shugenjas and my only Onmyoji, plus pretty much all of my units, or about 2/3 of my units. A lot of my units retreated to Oak Halls. Like, actually all of them retreated to Oak Halls. So that's fine. Mictlan. Mictlan. We broke out in Mictlan, and they moved their troops back in. So, yeah, that was a disaster. That didn't go well, shall we say. fantastic. 8 total enemy casualties in exchange for pretty much all of mine, which happens. In Loreborough, Patala moved that giant army into my territory, which I basically expected. I was talking to him last turn, and he was basically like, yeah, you know what, I'll give you the Nagarishi, because I want Arcoscephali to suffer, but we're just going to come eat you at this point, which I can't blame him for. So here he is, eating Loreborough and moving into what is now firmly Arcocephalian territory, actually, except for Mictlan. And Mictlan is basically Arcocephalian territory as well. I launched a couple of assassinations. I got a ninja killed trying to assassinate a mystic, and then I did assassinate a commander with this guy who's got the... This is the guy who's got the handful of acorns, Saru. He's been wandering around not doing much for a while. But now he has the chance to go and assassinate a commander, which he did with aplomb. Commander actually beat the Vineman pretty much, but then the ninja came in and just stabbed him to death. Just straight up prison shanked him. And the adventurers have struck again and assassinated a couple more Master Shigenjas. I'm running out of mages in Underspring. Those fucking adventurers. Anyway, everybody's moving out now. I'm collapsing all of my Ryujin onto Jomon. Now, this is an issue. My Ryujin are now spawning when recruited with no pearl. So Ryujin have this item, the Dragon Pearl, which they start with. It's cursed. They can never drop it, and it gives them +1 water magic and a temporary water gem. There was a fix in the latest patch, and I think this was actually happening last turn and I didn't notice it, but there was a fix in the latest patch for pretender gods who had cursed items. And basically, I think what they did was they set it so that those items there can only ever be one. They're unique. They don't spawn. So the problem with that is the Dragon Pearl that Ryujins have is also exactly the same item that the son of the Dragon King, and I believe the Celestial the Dragon King has, who is a pretender god chassis. And so I think what's happened is that item is now unique. And as a consequence, if there's already one in the world, it can't spawn again. And so, my Ryujin now are spawning without the pearl, and thus they're spawning with one less level of water, and more importantly, they're spawning with no free water gem. So this gives them just a free temporary water gem, and that combination, the ability to have water 3 and a free gem, means that Ryujin can just hop into battle and summon a water elemental for free, which is really powerful, and it's like half of their utility. That doesn't exist with these guys. It's quite frustrating, actually. So, in any case, all my Ryujin are jumping to Jomon, and everybody's breaking the siege. This is my last stand. Now, there's only 270 units here, so I may be able to actually do it. I'm sneaking my Kitsunes in as well. I've got Masanori all geared up, so he's got Armor of the Elements, Boots of Quickness, Storm Spool. Excuse me, it's been a long night. Storm Spool, so he has a total shock resistance of 25. 2 Serpent Krisses, high attack value. You can see they do pretty significant armor-piercing damage. And then they also have the Death Poison, which is armor negating, and it's 35 points of poison per hit. And of course, he gets 4 swings per round with his Boots of Quickness. His encumbrance is 11, so he's not going to get to fight for long, but hopefully long enough. He doesn't need to fight for a long time, he just needs to get the stabs in. So, we're going to try to break the siege of Jomon. We'll see how it goes. And I'm also moving out my Shark Warriors. I'm getting these Shark Warriors into Jomon. These Shark Warriors can't reach, so I've given Akitsuna as many as I can, and he is leading them up onto... He's up Firewater, and he's the one without a pearl. So he's a lot less useful. So he is leading them up onto Cormark, where they can start to be useful. And Yoshi and Tokimichi are coming up onto Rotmarsh, where they can help do something. I'm sure they can do something. But that's the turn. We are about to lose Mictlan, definitely. This is the army that will destroy Mictlan. I've lost this entire section of my territory. I've lost this entire section of my territory. I just hope that I can drive this army off of Jomon and redeem my honor a little bit. But right now, it really looks like the game is over for me. Need to remember to move Kanaki somewhere as well. So yeah, that is going to be it, I believe. I honestly, I'm not sure how much value there is in continuing this game all that much longer. I'll probably continue. I'll continue to harass Arcocephali for a while, but we'll see. It'll kind of depend on what happens this turn. Let's see if we can break free of Jomon, and then I'll make a call. If I lose Jomon, then obviously there's not much point in going on, because without Jomon, of course, I can't. I mean, basically at that point, I'd just be an irritating underwater nation of Ryujin. And despite these provinces being quite high income, I wouldn't be able to support many Ryujin for very long. And of course, I would certainly be in no position to have a significant effect on the game at that point. So we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens in Jomon, and we'll talk about it next turn. But in any case, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in turn 55.